Good morning.
Morning.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm not. I'd like to ask you a question. When two people get angry, a couple, why do they shout at each other?
They cannot hear one another.
To drown out the other.
Around.
Drown out.
Isn't that interesting, isn't it? So they shout at each other because the hearts are far apart. So they have to shout to cover that distance. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't understand. They thought they are angry, therefore they shout. It's not. It's because the heart is distant. So they have to cover that distance by shouting. So the angrier they are, the harder they shout, because the hearts are even further apart. But when two persons fall in love, they speak to each other softly, isn't it? Because the hearts are close. When they're madly in love, they hardly need to speak. They only look at each other, isn't it? Now, that's a very interesting thought, isn't it? That's sobering. When I read that, I thought that's wonderful. That's really why we shout. See, no matter what our age are, we still learn something new. And I thought that was fantastic. Something different again. Cultural differences. Now there's a lot of cultural differences. It's not just between the different races, but within the races, we also have cultural differences. Within the more senior people and the junior or more junior people, we also have cultural differences. Between the rich and the not so rich, we also have cultural differences, isn't it? So the rich was talking to the less rich, saying, my grandfather, right, lived till 96 years old, and he never used glasses. The poorer guy says, yeah, it runs in my family too. My grandfather also never used glasses, he drinks straight from the bottle. Cultural differences, isn't it? So it's amazing. Human beings are really amazing when we look at it. And this is something for my good friend Tiru. For men, if you want, and the men are always very naughty. Isn't it, Tiru? Yeah. Because if they're not naughty, they're not men. And you and I know, and all men know, women loves, not just like, loves naughty people. True. Maybe you speak for yourself, don't speak for the doctor at the back. So, for men, if you want to continue looking at girls after your death, donate your eyes. Isn't that true? If you donate your eyes, you can't go wrong. So even after that, you keep looking at girls. Isn't that wonderful? So let's get on to something more serious. This topic, I was going through some of the. Put this on. I was going through some of the things I had, the books that I had, which I haven't touched for donkey years. And I came across this, how we can get rich by focusing on the process and not on the outcome. December 2016, closer to Christmas time. What did we do? Normally we reflect on 2016 has passed so very quickly. And we start to make one, resolutions, isn't it? I must lose that few pounds. I've been playing center forward for my district for far too long. The little tummy there. Then some people will say, I want to get my finances in order. Come January, things didn't work out too fine. February, March, that resolution seems like a long, long distance away. And everything fell by the roadside. And today in July, nothing eventuated. Come December, another resolution again. And people will say, all things have gone down the drain. It's because of no willpower. And every year, it's the same. Repeat and repeat and repeat. Now, when it happens to us, don't have to worry. Because this New Year resolution or the goals that we set, right, they do falls apart. But because human nature, this is talking about human nature. Of course, we can overcome that. But human nature is not wired for long-term planning. And that's why we fail. Because it's here. So we also attended Kelman's talk and all that. It's all up here. Because our body is not geared for that. We are, by nature, we live by rule of fight or flight. Our dominant thoughts were purely about survival, not about long-term thing. It's today, tomorrow, not 1 year down the road, not 5 years down the road. So this is why over the years, evolution has taken its course, and we are subjected to that kind of thing. So the result is, we instinctively prefer an action with a fast payoff over one with a long-term result. That is very tempting. Very, very tempting. So when we talk about 3 years, you can make 50,000 US a month. It's long. But when we talk about 20% a month, wow, that looks very attractive. So this is why we see so many read about in the papers. I'll come to that in a minute. But we have a scientific name for that. It's called hyperbolic discounting. In other words, it causes people to make choices that can lead to short-term pleasure, but long-term disaster. That's what we talk about hyperbolic discounting. So one of the things is credit cards. How many people have fallen into this trap? So we have also read in the papers about people, youngsters getting bankrupt because of credit card debt accumulation. So people will swipe the credit card for what? For that instant retail fix. Remember, they swipe it. You get the pleasure, retail fix. I bought this new. That's instantaneous excitement. That short period of excitement, but they don't worry about the 20% a month kind of an interest repayment they have to make. That is all forgotten until the end of the month, it hits home. And this is what's happening because it's human nature. Credit cards, the marketing people, the retail people are very, very clever in their plot. They know human nature, they study psychology, so we fall into the trap. And when we are down, it's worse. We even go and get the fix. Shopping, I forget about my present problems. So I go and get the fix. Now, the next thing is, and this is the truth, not to say all what I just said was not the truth. Coronary bypass patients, Johns Hopkins University, and it made a study, and coronary or heart attack is one of the major problems prevalent in all countries. Even in Malaysia, is the #1 killer. I think the doctors can attest to that. But unfortunately, after the bypass, what will happen? Only 1 in 10, now that's only 10%, will change the lifestyle so that they can have a more healthy future and do not have to go back for another bypass. 1 in 10. Now that's a miserable number. And 9 out of 10 still opt for short-term pleasures. Short-term pleasures in terms of unhealthy lifestyle, no exercise in other words, and unhealthy food. Within 6 months, they'll fall back. Within a year, they'll fall back. And as a result, a few years down the road, back into the hospital, and another case of another bypass. They're putting their lives in danger, but can we blame them? Well, partly is the human side. They have been conditioned through the evolution of time. We were hunters, gatherers. It is more important I stay alive now than 2 years down the road. There's no chances of survival, but I don't know what will happen tomorrow. It's more important now. But over the years, as the Industrial Revolution came in and all the other revolution came in, we started to be changed from hunter-gatherers into workers and all that. So we have this 9-to-5 jobs and all that. But the time span is too short. We have not been conditioned in other ways. Okay? Then we come to this. So long-term progress by nature is slow and erratic. Often is very discouraging. Take for example, if there is a managed fund. I spoke this in Singapore, so I use the SGX. So we can use the KLSE kind of a thing, the same thing. We match, right, the KLSE composite index, and we say for every point that goes up, you make 10,000 ringgit, let's say. Right? So it's very erratic. You're not sure whether it's going to go up or it's going to come down, and you could lose your pants, in other words. Losing the pants is not the most difficult part. Having a heart attack, looking at that kind of thing is even worse, isn't it? So, but then we go into it because of the instantaneous gratification of making it big. So you bet big, you try to get it big instantaneously. And that's why the casinos and all that, it's very tempting. Let's go to Genting. We have an outing where you walk past, you make a detour and come out, you're probably so much lighter in the wallet. It is. It doesn't matter. Let's take 10 ringgit, the one-armed bandit there. But to you, it may not matter. But when you get 10,000 people and 10 ringgit, right, every hour, that's a lot of money. That's where they talk about this kind of a psychological impact on the human being. They really know what the fix is, the short-term fix. And so this JYPTR is famous a few months back. Right? So it says, if you give me a small sum of your money, I will give you immeasurable wealth. So it says, who is this Johnson Lee? Genius or genius thief? If that is the case, right, if that is the case, the banks close shop. All the businesses will have to close shop. Because he is talking about 20-30% return a month, and you don't have to do anything. But that's exactly hyperbolic discounting. It catches you. Because you want that 20-30% a month without doing anything. It's a good fix, isn't it? Without doing anything at all. So they really know how to catch on to people. These money game people are very, very good at that. In fact, a few months back, I went back to my hometown. There's this club we call the Chinese Recreation Club, and I went there for dinner. And I was introduced to about 4 semi-retired people. They're fairly well off. And we kept on talking, small talk. And I said, what do you do now? Oh, I'm semi-retired. But what else are you looking into? Oh, we're looking into, see what kind of investment we can get into without much effort at all. All I have to do is to put my money in there, and every month I'll get X%. Now, these are the kind of people who will fall into this kind of a scheme. And here, this founder find investors to bail out money game. So he reassured, I'm sure you all know the story by now, he reassured those investors, right, that he will find or start up another money game with new investors and with that kind of a profit to pay you back. I tell you, I've listened to many stories that this take the cream, this really take the icing of the cake. But having been duped once, and you listen to this guy and say he's going to start another one with that kind of a reputation which has been shot to bits, who else will believe him? Truly. But there are people who say, this guy is genuine. He's trying to repay us by another similar scheme. He told people, my computer has been hacked. I lost 1.7 billion somewhere there. And it's not small peanuts. It's not 1.7 million. It's 1.7 billion. That's the kind of money you're talking about. Today, nobody talk about small money anymore. Even donations are in the billions. Isn't it? Huh? So then more forex schemes are falling apart. So this, right, change your life. Of course, it will change my life. I put all my life savings there. It will definitely change my life because I've gone broke. Richway, Global Venture, and ETC iSystem heading the same way. Fail to receive profits. So, not just one, oodles and oodles of them. Then I went into the internet out of curiosity, and they were talking about one of those forex schemes. And there was a Q&A page. It was a chat there. I went inside, and it was very good, very, very good. And they were asked. Some people would write in and say, how can they be wrong? They're paying me interest, paying me 20%, 15%, whatever they promise. But this writer wrote in and said, it is still a Ponzi scheme. It is still wrong because if I introduce to him, he is putting in his money and I get the money not because the founder has invested the money and made money and paid me, but took his money to pay me. So in other words, he is saying, this Ponzi scheme, if you introduce to your friends, to your relatives, you are stealing money from your friends and relatives. And that's the truth, because he comes in, I get the profit from his investment, not from the profits of the investment. Make that very, very clear. So when we introduce people into these kind of schemes, at the end of the day, as the saying will go, your friendship is gone. Even as a relative, is gone. So, but people are still falling into this. Why? Exactly what we said earlier. What kind of fix is that? Hyperbolic discounting. You need that fix. You need that instantaneous, right, fix. Now remember the old days. Doctors and me at Tiro probably can remember. The younger set, the rest cannot remember because you guys are still 21 plus a few months. If we were to have coffee those days, it takes you half an hour before you get happy, isn't it? Unless you go to the coffee shop. So what would you need to do? You need to start the stove, isn't it? There's no gas those days. The only gas comes out from the... There's no gas those days. You need to start the coal or the firewood, isn't it? And you light the match, and it takes time to build that fire. Right? How long will it take? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? If your hands are wobbly, It takes you 20 minutes, half an hour. So you need to boil the water. Then you need to strain the coffee. So at least half an hour before you can get your cup of coffee. What about noodles? Same thing, you start the fire, cook the things, isn't it? So today's world is so different. You have the hot water ever ready, right? K series, K2 series, K3 series, hot water, press, instant noodle, goes in, magic, 3 minutes, fulfill your fantasy. Instant coffee, fulfill your fantasy, isn't it? You don't have to wait. So that's why people have been conditioned. And the advertisements, when we see them, whether in the cinema or anywhere else, is also conditioning, instant. And you hear the word now, grab it now. And again, reconditioning, and that's why more people falling into this kind of a scheme. But if our mind is right, we know what needs to be done, any of us goes into this kind of a scheme, unless you are the early bird, right? Forget about it. And even if you are the early bird, right? You think you are the early bird, you may break even, but the people whom you introduce it will definitely lose the money. And if I bring Thiru in, Thiru would have lost his pants. No, seriously? And would you want to do that? Take advantage of your friends, your relatives. Now some people live by their wits, but some people live by the lack of other people's wits. Now don't take people for fools. Don't take them to that kind of a route. At the end of the day, if you live to be 100, you'll be a very lonely person. You've got no friends left. So that another 1,000 hit as another money game, company goes bust. I'm not sure whether you can read it. Here we're talking about 20 billion. These guys are either very brilliant or very, very cunning. And this one was set up less than 6 months. They have so many investors from China and all that, and you'll be surprised. The guy is a Malaysian. Malaysia is getting infamous for all the wrong reasons, or famous for the all wrong reasons. It is. But then again, the world has changed. There's a lot of unseen money, so to say, so they park it there, hoping to launder it, whitewash it, in other words. So people can join in for their reasons, but let's not be, fall into that kind of a trap. Let's be a little bit more savvy. Let's get people to be healthy and wealthy through the right ways. It may be a bit slower, but it will be a good journey at the end of the day. You can only catch people as a fool, or fool people once. That's all. That's all you can do. You can't fool people twice. Now before this, about 6-7 years ago, some relatives and friends, they went into this. And they will bring out the computer. I've already made, a few 100,000. And the upline will tell this person, this relative, you can't take the money out. Invest some more so that it makes it even bigger. And the temptation is there. If you can increase it, or let's say I put 100,000 in, right? And it went up to 1 million. Now that's 10 times. And the upline will tell me, put another 200,000 in. Imagine 10 times that 20 million plus this 10 million. That's, wow, we can retire. After putting in that another 200,000, another year down the road, that guy disappeared. Exactly. So many, many people are hit by this sort of thing. Well, what you're going to see in the coming weeks, in the papers, in the internet, won't be the last. It will keep on coming and coming and coming. In my 20-odd years in Elken, I have seen so many of these schemes. When I first joined, it was a huge thing. They always used a different product. The one they used then, the company was called Giraffe. I'm not sure whether some of you heard of it. It's mattress. They sell mattress. That mattress, they sell it for 5,000. Actually, it was only 500. Those days, they were not so, well, this kind of big numbers you're talking about. So you get 3 person, you break even. Those 3 get another 3, you start to make money and so forth. And there was this guy with short pants, slippers, and he was in my downline's place. I still remember quite clearly, and he was talking, the whole body was shaking, and you got to join now because tomorrow I'm going to Indonesia. I've got a big group there waiting for me. I looked at him, I said, imagine slippers, shorts. I don't know what kind of shirt, I don't even remember. But he doesn't look professional. It doesn't sound professional. It sounds more like a conman. And sure enough, Giraffe folded. Then came what? Came the gold coin. Remember the gold coin? Right? That disappeared. Then came Skybeats. Who's that? Oh, somebody in Hong Kong. That's all they can tell you. But yet, a lot of people went in, failed, those people failed, went in, those people failed. There's always, as they said, a sucker born every man. But those days, like I said, they were only talking about millions. Today, they're talking about billions. Yet, there are so many people who are there. So, this is the same as that. 19 billion in less than a year. And the Malaysian role in China's biggest money game got bust and exposed. Huge. So another one, yeah, Maxim, they left in the lurch. So these people are crying foul. The authorities should have gone in. This is legit. You know, there's nothing wrong with this company, this and that. And if you go into the Bank Negara kind of the list, few hundred there, you should be wary which company you're going in. Elken is not in that list. So, you know, keep your friends. Forewarn them. At least you've done your role. If they still want to get it, there's nothing much you can do. So what do we do, right? We need to apply what we've learned about ielken into this, the power of one. And we will start off 7 days, these 2, then we continue. You all know this, I won't go into this. And at the end of 180 days, if everything works out fine, 50,000 US per month. But of course, nothing works that evenly. So, okay, like I said, take us 2 years. Would that be okay? I think it's great, 2 years. We just had a PCM meeting this morning. I think things are going to shape up. Things are falling into place. Yeah. It's not such a smooth journey. But don't forget, our direction is correct. The one line to success is correct. So today, things will be announced in the next couple of months, putting the things together. So the company is putting in the effort of making things even more right for us. You will be surprised. You, right, are somewhere there. Work a bit harder. We need to. There's no shortcut. The only shortcut is the money game, so-called shortcut. But many people, 90% will fall by the wayside because they are at the bottom of the pyramid. So what do we need to do? Take a look at this video. So they will show you, right? the kind of things we need to do. If the video don't comes out, we go for tea break. Being able to cat with no legs. Even though having lost the two front legs, we can learn from this little animal. Yeah, our road is not so smooth. We have a lot of hurdles. More hurdles will come, but they will be flattened as the company, right, start to get things, right, more things into place. So we need to have that kind of a courage, because our direction, if our belief that this migration from classic to ielken is correct, which I truly believe to be correct, yes, the road, right, to success is still under construction. There will be obstacles, there will be potholes. It's not a smooth journey, but it will get smoother over time. So just like this cat, he has lost the two front legs, but is still a survivor, a fighter. He can still do whatever normal cats can. So if we still have two hands, right, two legs, a good head, very healthy body, we need a good mind. A good mind to overcome that kind of a hyperbolic discount. Don't fall by the wayside to this kind of a get rich quick kind of a scheme. So this calls for leadership in us. The people who have joined us, right, who comes in and believes us, we need to steadfast the ship. We need to be the rudder, to point that in so that the ship can go in the right direction. Yeah, we are against the wind, but we still sail on. It is the right thing. Because anything else, we give up. We just take a look at the next video, what will happen if we give up. You know, that reptile, that four-legged reptile, would have been gone. It was curled by at least 2 snakes. But he didn't give up. So we as leaders, we should not give up. Because as long as our mind is very clear with the direction that the company has set, that Mr. Francis Chiang has said, even if we don't understand, let us believe. The thing is, it goes by what we call history. So far, has Mr. A.K. Tan and Mr. Francis Chiang led us into the ditch? Has they done their best to make sure that we will always survive? So, okay, we may not survive as we should at this stage, but the outcome will be very clear, provided, right, our mind is set to last the distance. Sure, there's no bed of roses now, but to give up, if that 4-legged animal were to give up when the 2 snakes has coiled it, that would be the end. But they fought and overcame all the odds. Look at the size of all those snakes. But don't give up. Sure, today Malaysian economy is not the best. Today our ringgit has shrunk. We were in Thailand a few months back, and I looked at it and said, wow, our currency has shrunk about 40% compared to the Thai baht. Because it went from 3.15, somewhere there, $1 to about 3.15 Malaysian ringgit. Now it's about 4.15. 30%. Then you have the 6% GST and this and that, and God knows what else. The money has shrunk immeasurably. But don't give up. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. When we give up, our mind shuts down. The light bulb has gone. That's it. I still remember the 92, 93, I think it's the 92, yeah. It was the downturn, there was a monetary crisis. You remember in Thailand there was one billionaire who went bankrupt and he sold burgers by the roadside to make ends meet. Now he may be poor in the pocket, but he's not poor in the mind. So this is what we need as a leader, right? To keep on fighting, to keep on going forward, even though the step small, small, small. But you will hit the daylight, you will come out of the forest very, very soon. So, all said and done, end of the day, I truly believe that we will make it. You're not alone. All of us are in the same boat. But we will find a way, right? We will find a way to make it even better as the time goes on. So don't have this kind of a feeling when we have this hyperbolic discount coming on. It's very, very tempting. Yeah, the occasional splurge where you say, I want a fine dinner, I'll satisfy myself, I need that short break. Great. You need to unwind, right? You cannot tense up all the way. I think we will end up near Ipoh, that nice, beautiful place called Tanjung Rokotan. You know where it is, isn't it? No, but seriously, we need to unwind a little bit here and there. But don't go to the point of over-relaxing, because the time is not now. So with that, hopefully, right, all of you, I do hope I can pass on some message to you. Keep on going. Do what is necessary to find new, welcome, packed people. Get those old people, right, influence them through the 3S to get them to see, to do the service, and also get older people or the previous people who have joined in, right, who cannot see our plan, to get them to understand our plan and to work towards this and to renew their AMP or to come into the AMP. All these AMP packages were not there before, and as I said, the company is working more and more of this in time to come. Thank you so much.